Between Washington and Ottawa have officially collapsed. Well, this is what we have been hearing, and the fallout is already here. 50% tariffs on billions of dollars of Canadian goods kicked in this weekend. Canada's promising to hit back dollar for dollar starting September 8th. And now Trump is threatening to double auto tariffs by January 2027. So today on this segment, we'll break down what triggered the breakdown, who gets to hurt first each other, and where does this goes next. And for that, we are being joined by Dr.Suyash, Director at AFTI, which is Academy for Finance, Technology and Innovation from Dubai. Well, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Dr. Bhatt, Prime Minister Khane's government has vowed dollar for dollar retaliation starting 8th of September. So what specific sectors or products do you expect Canada to target? And is there a risk this becomes an escalating spiral rather than a one-time response?
So these negotiations are basically to bring down tariff, which was levied by the administration of 25% to 15%. So currently, Canada, anything that is exported from Canada attracts 25% tariff, and they are completely integrated with the manufacturing sector in US. So whether you talk about automobile, you talk about minerals, you talk about oil and gas or energy, all of this is highly integrated with the US economy. So while these negotiations were going on to bring down tariff from 25% to 15%, some of the major bottlenecks that they faced were related to the French culture, where the Quebec province. So second French is a second language in Quebec, and also in Canada. So some of these electronic items that you sell, or even the social media platforms that are there, they're supposed to adhere to guidelines, have labeling in French, and rules and regulations or manuals are to be printed in two languages. So, which was something which US felt is kind of blocking in terms of a free market, because you're forcing US companies to comply with these laws. So this became one of the major bone of contention. The second, which is not spoken a lot, but is something which has come out, is the independent policy that Canada can negotiate free trade agreement with individual countries independently. So this is something which US objected to. So now this really puts Canada in a tough spot, because it has integrated its market over last 70, 80 years with US completely. And now if you ask them to, deintegrate, it's fairly challenging. And when you're imposing tariff on them, and one of the conditions you're putting is that if I reduce tariff, you should also not get into free trade agreement with other countries. So that also essentially is something which is a bone of contention. So these are the two main reasons which has brought down